We'll have Coach Nagy coming up in just a couple minutes here. Hey, Coach.
Eric, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'll get started here. You good with that?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. I'll start off here first of all. Just saying how much of an emotional game that was. In so many different ways. We're super fired up that we won. But there are a lot of emotions that go into that. And I, to start off, when you start looking at some of the injuries, unfortunately, it looks like Tariq Cohen, after we get confirmation, looks like he did end up tearing his ACL. So that'll be a big blow to us there with that, which is unfortunate. I'm so proud of that kid, and he's been really growing. And so that part you don't like. Obviously the quarterback situation, as it can be. There's a lot of emotions that go into that. These kids, these players, and so that was a move that we ended up making, but we're super fired up that we won the game, and we have that, and then of course the amount of respect that I have for Mr. Blank and the Atlanta Falcons organization. I just think that they do a lot of things the right way. I have a lot of respect for Dan Quinn, and they, I know it's tough there too. So anyway, big picture from our game. Start off with some discipline. We had, too many penalties. I think we had like 12 penalties going into this game, which I was really proud of our team being disciplined. And then we had, double-digit penalties today in every phase. So that we got to eliminate. We got to be able to get off the field. That said, our resiliency and our perseverance of these players, the high character guys that we have, there's something special about this group. I don't know what it is, but there's something special about this team, and I love it. I'm proud of them. No one gave up. The fourth quarter to be able to come back with a 20-0 score for us versus them is great. There's just again, like I said, there's a lot of good things. There's some bad, but we're 3-0, and that's what we're not going to lose sight of.
Adam Johns, kick things off.
Hey, man, in terms of making that decision, what was the point for you? Like looking back at the missed deep throw to Anthony Miller, then you had the interception there against zone. Like what was the point where you knew a change had to be made?
I think really when I knew it was the interception there on third down. We were struggling on third down a lot. We weren't producing points in the red zone. And I just think that sometimes there's a gut feeling as to when to do it. And that seemed like the right time. And it's never fun. You guys understand these relationships that we build with these guys, these players. They're strong relationships, and it's not easy, but it's there's personal relationships and past relationships, and that's just where we're at that time.
JJ.
Matt, you say you knew after that interception, but was this something you had talked about with your coaching staff, with the quarterbacks at halftime, that this might be happening?
We discussed it. I just think that there was a little bit of we were lacking a little bit of a rhythm. There wasn't a lot of energy. There was just something missing a little bit. And again, I always say, it's when you're playing quarterback, there's only one of them. And no matter what, usually when things are going really well, you get all the credit when you probably shouldn't. And when things are not going well, you get all the blame when you probably shouldn't. But at the same point in time, that comes with the job. And we discussed it, but we wanted to be able to go out and just kind of get a feel for how things would go. And then really when that interception occurred, I think you just kind of felt like, okay, we gotta make a move here.
Jeff Dickerson.
Hey, Matt. So what happens now? I mean, Nick obviously has this great come from behind win. It would seem like it would be hard to go back to Mitch next week. Have you decided what the next couple of days are going to be like for you as far as who plays going forward?
Right. Yeah, we haven't yet, Jeff. I think that's what we'll do is we'll go back and just kind of enjoy this one right now, and then we'll talk through where we're at and what we think is the best decision moving forward. We're not there right now, but I think that there's something here that we just got to discuss and again just go through and talk through the situation and understand that there's there's these feelings that these kids are going through right now, and I think we just want to enjoy the win tonight.
Dan Wiederer.
Matt, can you just walk us through sort of how quick and the details of your discussions with Nick when you have to make that change really quick and get him ready to get on the field and know what you're looking for in that situation?
You saying about some of the the plays and stuff?
Just getting face to face with Nick, letting him know he's going in, and just really quickly on the fly, letting him know what's going on.
Yeah. The process, yeah. It's we just went over to Mitch and told him that really simply put that we're going to go with Nick. There wasn't a lot of talk or anything like that. It's just what it was, and then told Nick that we're going to go with him. And then what you got to do is you got to start looking at your play call sheet and just kind of getting a feel for where you're at play wise. I mean, again, unlike training camp, he's not getting any of these reps in the week of practice. So you want to go ahead and get a feel for where he's at, and that's what we did.
Jason Leisure.
Matt, I feel like we've been having some version of this discussion ever since you guys traded for Foles. How do you explain what he does? How do you explain that a month ago he lost out on the starting job and then today he does that in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, well, I would say that with Nick, he kind of has a history in these big moments of making things happen. For me, you guys got to go back and realize I know you know this, but I've never called plays with him as the quarterback. I've always been on staff with him, but I've never called plays. So there's a little bit of trying to figure out the communication in the headset of what you like, what you don't like, just the simplicities of how you call a play. Is it formation first? Is it play second? Is it play first and formation second? Little things like that. But there was just a calm out there that I really felt by him. And, that you become a little bit one-dimensional. And there's some plays that he did in those last couple drives where he got us in a good situation, and he made a lot of plays happen based off of his experience. And that's good to have when you have that. That's good.
Pat Finley, and we got time for just a couple more. Pat Finley, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, this seems like about 2 weeks ago, but how did you guys handle the news that the Falcons had a positive test? What was last night and this morning like for you guys getting ready? And I noticed a couple of your guys had face shields on that hadn't before. Was that related at all to whatever risk there may be out there?
Yeah, Pat, I don't think so. We found out yesterday, just like everybody else, and I told the team is literally the second that came out, because what that does is that helps me. It backs me up when I tell them to wear your mask everywhere you go. In the facility, wear your stinking mask. It's not hard. Do it, but don't get relaxed on it, because this stuff can happen and it's real. And all of a sudden you're told you can't play or you can't coach. So, I'm currently at a point where I feel weird when I'm not wearing my mask, like right now, but that's real. I mean, that's where we're at, and it's too important, and losing one guy. And I think we all learn through this, and it's a wake up call that you got to stay on this thing.
Brad Biggs.
Hey, Coach. So you make the move there to change quarterbacks. How much of that decision was a function of what your offense did weeks 1 and week 2? Like if you guys had been rolling the first 2 weeks, I don't know that you pull them there.
Yeah, I would say, Brad, for us, again, this is, you get into a situation where you always evaluate, how do you feel as an offense? Really, what are you doing? How are you producing? And I would say, the first game, obviously we struggled the first 3 quarters, and then we caught on fire like in another world that fourth quarter, which was awesome. And then last week we did well in the first and second quarter, and then we struggled mightily in the third and fourth quarter. And so, again, you look at the big picture, and I think there's a feel to it when you go through this. And then when you're in a game like this, I mean, it's just, there was a feel today to it. None of this was premeditated. It was just a feel. And that's my job in that role, that if it's going a certain direction, I have to make that decision. And that's the decision that I ended up making.
Last one, Adam Hogue.
Hey, Matt, regardless of who's playing quarterback, I'm curious how you thought your wide receivers played. You had a couple touchdowns that came off the board, but then obviously A-Rob and Anthony both made big plays down the stretch too.
Yeah, I thought they played really well. It's tough to have, those two touchdowns called back. I think for sure the second one looked like it was definitely bobbled, and it's still hard to say on the first one with A-Rob, but that's the decision that the refs made, and that's why they do what they do. And so that part was hard, but that's real. So overall, again, without watching the tape, I felt like they made plays, and there was just an energy there that they were. We got a couple there where they had to make some tough catches and then run after the catch, and then A-Rob had that one down the sideline, which was really neat. So you just felt it. I have a lot of belief in our wide receivers, our tight ends, our running backs, everybody for that matter. And I just think overall, when guys had to step up today, they did it. And that's probably what I'm most proud about.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care.
Hey, Mitch.
What's up, guys?
Adam Johns, go ahead.
Hey, Mitch, just take us back to that moment on the sideline where Matt comes up to you and tells you he's going with Nick. What's running through your mind? What are the emotions like for you?
Yeah, it wasn't Matt. It was Coach Laser. It kind of happened out of nowhere. He just said Nick is up, and that was that. So I just accepted the news. I had Nick's back, like he's had mine, and the situation sucked, but it was just the flow of the game, how it was happening. Coach made a decision that he felt was best for the team, and I'm really happy for this team. I mean, they battled back, and it was awesome to get a W. But it sucks to get news like that, but that's just how it goes. I just gotta control what I can control.
Pat Finley.
Mitch, what did you see or not see on the last interception there?
I was just working through my progression. I didn't see the defender in front of Jimmy, and we just weren't on the same page. I was trying to get him the ball going out the backside, and I didn't see that defender in front of him. So I just got to see in front of the throws and make better decisions, and obviously got to play better to keep my job. So if it all falls back on me for not playing better in the first half, and when you have crappy plays like that, then you put it out of your hands, and it is tough.
Mike Berman.
Mitch, what psychologically, how do you attack things going from here? You know, when you get to practice, do you think that you will have an opportunity to start? Do you think you deserve it, or do you think Nick has earned the opportunity to start now?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to approach practice, trying to perfect my craft, trying to get better, always being there for my teammates. And this is still a team first game. So whoever is first, if Nick's the starter going forward, that it is what it is. And I got to have his back just like he had mine. So it's always team first. And but while we're at practice, I got to just continue to get better, work on my craft, and make sure I'm pushing my teammates because I'm still a leader on this team, and I feel like guys still look at me. So when bad stuff happens, you just gotta roll with the punches and keep battling through. And we did that in the second half, and I'm proud of the guys for battling back and finding a way to win. And that's how I'm going to attack practice. Just keep trying to get better and try to bring a positive attitude every day.
Kevin Fishbane.
Mitch, what was it like for you in the fourth quarter to be where you were, but also watching your team make the comeback they did with a different quarterback?
Yeah, you could feel the momentum shift when they weren't really doing anything on offense, and then we were getting the ball with good field position, and then a couple plays here and there. Guys were making plays on offense, and they were doing a great job of breaking some tackles and getting the end zone, and it was exciting. So the offense did a great job second half. Defense came up with a lot of big stops, and it was a good team win. It was a great way to finish.
A couple more for Mitch. Jason Leisure.
Mitch, you've always been very honest and analytical about your own play. Do you feel like after how the first 3 weeks have gone that it was merited to take you out today?
I mean, it's always one game at a time. What I did the first week and the second week doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter was we weren't doing too well in the first half, and Coach felt like making a change and taking me out would help us do better. And the only thing I can control is me playing better. And when I had those reps in the first half, and I didn't do that, so I gave him the opportunity to pull me. He did, and it is what it is. So you just got to move forward, accept it, and continue to be a great teammate. But it's just a tough deal sometimes.
Dan?
Mitch, there was a deep shot to Anthony right before the end of the half. Just wondered what you saw in that play, and then maybe just sailed it by a yard or so.
Yeah, just Just missed it. Those are the plays you got to make, especially in big situation right before half. It was actually the same exact last play that Anthony caught. So mine, I overthrew it, and Nick had a really good throw for the go-ahead win. And that's how it goes. You got to make those throws. So that's on me. But the guys didn't give up. We came back to it in the fourth quarter, and it came up big for us. So it's I got to make that throw in the first half, but I'm glad that the guys finished it off in the fourth half and the fourth quarter, and we got to win.
Thanks for your time, Mitch.
Yes.
Akeem Hicks will be next on this podium.
Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, Akeem.
Hey.
All right, Brad Biggs, start us off.
Hey, Akeem, what was the key in getting that big defensive turnaround there in the fourth quarter after they had piled up some yardage on you through the first three quarters?
Oh, we just played hard, man. Just played hard.
Pat Finley.
Akeem, were you guys able to feel the momentum from when the offense got going? And did that contribute at all to the defense getting going in the fourth?
That most definitely plays a role, having your offense go out there and push the ball down the field, maybe give us a chance to catch our win before we go out and compete again. All those things play a role when it comes to momentum in the game. Just making sure that you have the proper energy, starting pushing things in your direction. It all benefits us.
Larry Mayer.
Hey, Akeem, you've played for a while now. How would you kind of characterize the first two road games that you've had in terms of what they had in common and how amazing they both ended up?
Just wow, man. Just wow. During the course of a game, right, you don't know what's going to happen, and you hope that you're on the winning side of a lot of those plays. Unfortunately, or just the swing of the game, we've had some bad runs or a tough quarter. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough to get a W on the road when you have a bad quarter. We've been able to pull out of those, so I think we can be proud about that. But we are conscious and we understand that there's more work to do. So we don't have to fight out of those situations. So we can be on top because we have a good enough team to do so.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Keem, the Falcons have a history of collapsing, and that even last week they did. And I'm wondering, did you guys feel their fear in that? And were you able to take advantage and build your own momentum kind of off their kind of fear of that, of blowing it again?
Defensively, you always want to intimidate and impose your will upon your opponent. You always want to you want them to see you as this figure, this dominating figure that they have to overcome. And so it definitely plays a role in making sure that, you know, you're imposing your will throughout the course of the game. That's how you got to finish it, man. You just got to finish it.
Kevin Fishbane.
Akeem, that sack you had in the fourth quarter forced a field goal attempt that they missed. What kind of, you know, what'd you see on that play? And then overall your game, I think you had 5 quarterback hits. What was working well for you?
We were doing a lot of things up front, and you got to contribute your own personal success towards your teammates, especially when you're, you know, for a defensive line, there's so many scenarios where you have to work together, you know, and you have to work as a unit just as the offensive line is attempting to. So on occasion, when you're getting a huge slide to your side, you got to be able to say, hey, I'm going to ask my teammate to cover me in here, or I'm going to give him freedom so he can come around and do what he does. And I think collectively as a front seven, we play really well together today.
Dan Wiederer.
Akeem, I'm wondering how mystified you were by that little yellow flag that came out and when it got you for roughing.
You can't be upset. You can't be upset. You got to take it because everybody's going to get a call that they're not in favor of, you know, during the course of a game. But that's a tough one, man. I'm just playing football, and there's no ill will towards anybody. I am trying to be physical, but there's no ill will and just bad intention, right? So you accept the call for what it is, but I think I can speak for, you know, the people that watch the game, and they want to see people get hit. They want to see the quarterback, you know, roughed up a little bit. You don't want him to stand in the pocket and just go on vacation. You want him to feel you around him. So I accept the call for what it is, but I would hope that we would look at that sometime maybe in the offseason and say, hey, let's let him hit the quarterback for a second.
Chris Emma.
Akeem, Coach Nagy said he sees something special in this team. What qualities do you see so far?
In this team, resilience, well, we are not afraid to fight. We are not afraid to, you know, to have our backs against the wall. Do we want to be in situations in the fourth quarter where we need a score in order to win? We don't want that all the time, but during the course of a football game, you find yourself in that position and you got to be able to fight out. And I think that is one of the characteristics of our team that makes us special, is that we are not afraid to compete.
Couple more. Adam Hogue.
Hey, Akeem, Mitch has been one of your teammates now for a while. Just curious what your reaction was to the quarterback move, and as a leader on this team, if you say something to him.
It's not it's above my pay grade, you know, to be frank and honest with you. I would say this, you want the best for every guy. And I've been in a position before, I'll talk about myself. I've been in a position before where I was, you know, not the person that they needed to play in that position. And you have to accept that. And you have a choice to make. The choice you make is whether you give up or you keep pushing. And that will determine a lot. But to answer your question, it's above my pay grade. I don't have anything to say on that.
Kaylin.
Hey, Akeem. I'm curious, what was Matt Nagy's message to you guys after the game? He told us he hasn't decided who's going to be the quarterback next week, but did he bring that up and address, Foles coming into the game with the team post-game?
No, that's not something that we discussed, right? It's a period for all of us where this decision's made, and that's the business in the game of football. There are going to be decisions made, and it's not always in your favor. And like I said earlier, your choice is to compete or not compete. I'll say this, our post-game interview, not this interview, but our post-game meeting locker room after Club Dub, it was lit. It was pretty lit. We got it in. So,
last one, Jason Leisure.
Akeem, you've spent a lot of time around Tariq the last couple of years. Matt says that he believes that's a torn ACL. You saw him cart it off and everything. What do you think about that situation for him if he's done for the year, and how you feel about Tariq?
Respectfully, Jason, I don't talk about injury, but I will answer how do I feel about him. I love the guy. He's an important person on our team, somebody that I have a lot of respect for, somebody that's dedicated, to this team and wants to be the best at what he does. He's all that you can ask for in a teammate. He's the energy when we need it. He's the focus when you want it. He is just he's our guy.
Thanks, Akeem.
No problem. Take care, guys.
Hey, Nick.
Howdy.
All right, media, we got Nick Foles. We're going to get started. Pat Finley, go ahead.
Nick, what's the conversation when they tell you that you're in?
What was the conversation like?
Yeah.
It was just something where, on the sidelines, Coach Nagy just said, hey, you're in, just get warm. And it was as simple as that.
Jason Leisure.
Nick, how are you able to go in a situation like that, knowing you're going to have to throw, knowing you guys are down and things have gone poorly, and have that presence of mind and calmness that you had?
I think just from experience playing this game, obviously, practice throughout the week, you don't get reps. So you're constantly getting mental reps and being prepared and running the scout team, just trying to play ball. And it really came down to, we were down by a little bit and our defense did a great job of holding them. And just going out there playing ball, trusting guys, watching the defense, watching the secondary, getting us to good plays if we need be, and executing. The way I approach the game is one play at a time. So it's not easy coming in cold like that. But if you can approach it with the mindset, hey, just one play at a time, you can't get all the points back in one throw, that helps a lot.
Kevin Fishbane.
Hey, Nick, can you walk us through the game-winning touchdown to Anthony, kind of the play, how you saw it come together in the throw?
Yeah, it was we sort of had two plays on, and we didn't know if they were dummying their look. They had sort of got me earlier in the game and swiped back to two high safeties when looked like they were bringing everyone. So we were able to configure a pretty cool little two-play, and they showed what we call a zero blitz, and we were able to check it and get the ball snapped quickly. And line did their job to give me just enough time to throw it, and Emil was right where he needed to be to catch it, and he made a great play. So that's a fun way to win a game when they bring one more than you can handle and we execute it.
Dan Wiederer.
Nick, just following up on that, how much of that throw did you see? You got hit pretty good right as you were releasing it, and when did you know it was good?
I didn't see a whole lot. When we were in the huddle, I had explained to Anthony that if I do happen to kill it, I'm going to throw it to the L. So get to the L on the L, and it'll be like a pretty stiff ball. So I just knew, just in case, that I didn't have time to get it off cleanly, that he would be there. So we had that conversation, and he did his job. We executed.
Mike Berman.
Nick, you and Mitch both talked about the way you guys supported each other during the quarterback battle in the off season. What is the emotion like to watch him get pulled? Obviously, you want to go in because you want to play, and you do go in and you succeed and win the game. I'm just wondering, how do you kind of put into words all of those emotions after a game like that?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of emotions, and that's the toughest part of the game. And I think the biggest thing, and I've said it from the beginning, this is how I approach the game. The QB room, the foundation of it should be, friendship, getting to know each other, being brothers. And, that stayed true to today. He was amazing. I've been where he's been, and it's not easy. But he was supporting me 100%. I know the emotions are real because I've been there. I've been there recently. But I'm grateful that, throughout training camp and throughout the start of this season, we've continued to build that relationship to where when something like this happens, that it really sucks. It does. We're able to be genuine and support each other through it all. And that's why this game, when you can do it the right way, is really special. Mitch Trubisky is an outstanding quarterback. He's got a bright career ahead of him. This is just one day. And I know throughout my life, anytime I've had trials and everything, it's equipped me to be a better person and a better player. Not saying that you wish that on anyone, but we'll be there, and I'm excited to go to work. I don't know what the situation is or whatever, but I was really grateful for how he handled it today. He's a team guy, and he showed that leadership today.
Larry Mayer.
Hey, Nick, as an offense, how demoralizing is it to have two touchdowns replay reversed off the board? And then as the leader on offense, do you have to I don't even want to maybe say pep talk, but you have to remind everyone that we're still in this game and we need to overcome that adversity?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. We had two, touchdowns called back. One, in my history in the NFL, if it's 50-50, it usually goes to the offense. This time it didn't, so that was interesting. That was a first for me. And then obviously the second time we just, it happens. That's part of the game. But I'd say the big thing is it's not really a pep talk. It's just keeping guys going, continuing to talk to them. I don't really worry about the score because you can't score 16 points with one throw. You can only score 6. So I knew that, hey, one play at a time, this is what we're seeing, this is what I'm thinking, hey, be ready for this, and just staying in the game and trusting our defense. It's a team game. And we were able to, stick together and play together through a lot of adversity today and come out on top in a crazy game. So nothing too crazy, just continue to talk to the guys on the sidelines.
A few more for Nick. Adam Johns.
Hey, Nick, at one point on the broadcast, we saw you looking at Matt's play sheet and kind of pointing at plays. I'm curious, just in terms of your comfort with him as a play caller, how would you describe it in terms of what you want to do, he wants to do? It just definitely seemed more aggressive when you got in the ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, this is Coach Nagy and I's first time ever. This was his first time really calling plays for me since we've known each other. Just because in KC, he would send the play in, but it was through Coach Reed. But we've known each other. He knows how I am as a player. And I think the big thing was I was just highlighting plays I liked. And I just said, hey, if for some reason they give me something else, I'll get to something else. I feel perfectly comfortable with that. And he just let me be me. And he let me, that's the big thing as a player. All you can ask as a coach, just, hey, go be yourself. Do what you got to do. I trust you. And we were able to make some plays and, do some things at the line and have some fun doing it and executing. So it was big.
JJ?
Kind of along those lines, Jimmy was telling us that you were kind of ad-libbing some stuff up at the line of scrimmage. Just did that relationship with Coach Nagy kind of allow you to feel comfortable going in and running the offense the way you wanted to run it?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time with me that he saw me do that in person. I'm sure, through his relationships with, Coach Peterson, that he sort of knew what, he was getting into. But he trusts me. The big thing was he said, hey, if you see something, go with it. And, there was a few times where I was able to get through to a couple of things and recognize the defense. And, that's always fun when you can do that because it helps your team. And we were fortunately, able to execute on a lot of those plays. And, that makes us more dangerous.
Brad Biggs.
Nick, how much more comfortable are you right now than you were the day Nagy said, hey, Mitch is going to be our starter at the beginning of the season? You didn't get a ton of practice reps, right, from that point moving forward. So how different is the feeling right now for you?
I think the big thing is all this is so new. I just, wasn't expecting this today. Obviously, we went out there today and got a win as a team. I felt good out there, not perfect, but I felt good. As I've been here since, training camp, I've gotten to know my teammates more. I've been able to run scout team and do different things to develop those relationships to where, when you're on the sideline during a game, we know each other more as teammates than we did during training camp. So that's important. But once again, this is one game. We have a long road ahead, and we'll look at the film and see how we can continue to improve and focus on the next one. But I always use a 24-hour rule to deal with any emotions of a game, win or lose. You got 24 hours to deal with them, and then life goes on.
Thanks for your time, Nick.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
That's going to be it for media availability on this call. Thank you, guys.